Today we're doing a full body sequence, really engaging core and then lower body and a little bit of upper body. For this class, you don't need to wear shoes, but if you prefer to work out with shoes, that's fine. I would recommend a mat or a towel, something to have on the ground. And then totally optional is a pair of light weights. I recommend 3 or 5 pounds. You can totally do this without weights and still have a really effective workout. So no worries if you don't have any on you. We're going to get started in child's pose. So go ahead and draw your knees a little bit wider and your feet together, and then just sink forward for a really relaxing child's pose. Deepening your breath. Stretching the shoulders and the lower back. But mostly here, just grounding, relaxing, and finding presence in this space and with your body. Beautiful. Inhale, shift forward into a tabletop position. And we're going to get started right away with a bird dog. So I want you to take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, imagine engaging the core. So wrapping the core muscles that wrap all around your spine inwards, almost like you're zipping up your core. And then keeping that, you're going to reach your right arm forward and reach your left arm back. Keep core engaged, plugging belly button up and in, using your core muscles so that this lower back is really protected. And then inhale, big reach. Exhale, you're going to draw your hand to your thigh. And as you do, I want you to make contact and press hand into thigh and thigh into hand so that you engage in this rounding position. Beautiful. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, crunch and press, make contact hand to thigh. Awesome. That should feel like a good engagement because you're isometrically pressing inwards, and that's going to fire up these core muscles. Awesome. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, crunch. Good. Okay, switch sides. Really challenging bird dog here with that connection in the center. So you're going to reach left arm forward, right leg back. Find this great stability so you have this beautiful engagement in the core, tucking tailbone slightly, pulling belly button up and in, reaching arm forward. Awesome, beautiful. Inhale, and then exhale, crunch inward, rounding the spine a little bit, and then press hand into thigh into hand at center. So you're making contact here, and there is engagement. Awesome. Inhale, extend. Everything gets long. Exhale, crunch. Beautiful. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch, make contact, thigh to hand, press them into each other. And last time, inhale, extend. And exhale, crunch, everything into each other. Beautiful. Awesome. Rest back in child's pose for a moment. Whew. Okay, that was hard. All right, come back up to tabletop position. For this next exercise, I'm going to have you tuck your toes under. Again, plug belly button up and in. Find that nice engaged core. You can use your exhale breath to help you engage. And then you're just going to hover your knees off the mat. Beautiful. So you have a nice, beautiful posture. Try not to do too much rounding or too much arcing. You have a neutral spine, core engaged, pressing palms down, and then you're just going to hold here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Rest back down. Great work. Okay. We're going to go ahead and drop that right forearm down. Keep yourself propped up on your left hand, and then extend your left leg back. Turn the inner edge of the foot down and then lift the leg straight up. So you're going to feel this on the outer glute. Tap the leg down and then lift. Tap the foot down, exhale and lift. Awesome. Little tap and squeeze. Keep your abdominals engaged. We're going 8, 7. Awesome. 6, 5. Keep the leg high in 4, 3. Keep the leg lifted in 2, 1. Awesome. Keep the leg up, and then we're just going to go little pulses. So think an inch of movement. Awesome. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Lower that leg down. And then make your way to the other side. I'm just going to turn this way so that you can see. You're going to drop down to your left forearm now and keep your right hand propped up. Extend your right leg back behind you so that the inner edge, and then rotate so that the inner edge of the foot is pointing towards the ground. And then you're going to lift, squeeze, and lower. Awesome. Lift and squeeze, and tap that foot down. Exhale as you lift, lower. Don't forget to keep your abdominals engaged. For 8, breathing. For 7, 6, engage all the way through the toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold at the top in 1. Awesome. Little lift and lift, lift and lift. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Lower that leg down. Come back to center. Last exercise in tabletop position. You're going to extend your left leg straight back behind you. Keep the foot flexed for this one. And really important here, keep the tailbone slightly tucked so that there's no arcing in the lower back, because we're going to just take a hamstring curl. Draw your foot towards your glute, however far it goes, and then extend. Awesome. For 8, 7, 6, squeezing the hamstring. 5, 4, 3, keep belly button plugged up and in. 2, and 1. Awesome. Extend the right leg straight back. Keep the foot flexed. Hips are square. Core is strong. No arcing in the lower back. Keep that neutral spine. And we're just going to bend and extend. Awesome. For 8, 7, 6, control. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. We're going to move into a 90-degree angle hamstring curl. So draw your foot up towards the sky, plug belly button up and in, no crunching in the lower back, keep a neutral spine. You're just going to bend the knee in and then squeeze it back up. So little squeeze for 8, 7, 6, keep breathing. 5, core strong. 4, just little 90-degree squeezes for 3, or squeezes from 90 degrees. Last 1. Awesome. Other way, right foot up towards the sky. You're going to squeeze the foot towards your glute and then come back to 90 degrees. Little squeeze, 90 degrees. Awesome. Keep your knee high in line with your hip. For 8, 7, 6, 5, foot stays flexed. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. All right. You're going to come up to a high kneel or low kneel position, and then just go ahead and stretch out the right wrist. Deep breath. And take it the other way. Awesome. All right, I lied. Another exercise in tabletop position. For this one, you can drop down to your forearms to give your wrists a break. You're going to extend your left leg back, and square hips, you're going to just lift the left leg straight up and lower. Lift and squeeze and lower. Awesome. Spine stays neutral, so no crunching as such in the lower back. For 8, 7, squeeze at the top. 6, 5, 4, 3, switch sides after, 2, and 1. Awesome. Switch sides. Right leg extends straight back, and you're just going to lift and squeeze and lower. Lift and squeeze and lower. Beautiful. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right. Go ahead and roll onto your spine. And then you're going to grab your weights. You're going to place your weights on your hips, and you don't have to use these, by the way, if you don't have them. Press your feet down into the earth. Press your lower back down into the earth, and then as you exhale, lift and squeeze. Squeezing the glutes at the top. Awesome. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Lower it all the way down. You can rest the weights off your hips. And you can windshield wipe your knees to the right and to the left. Awesome. Weights come back onto the hips, and then we're just going to lift the hips high, and we'll take little bridge pulses. So pulse and pulse, little pulse and pulse. Squeeze glutes at the top. Keep core engaged for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, lower all the way down carefully. Awesome. All right, we're going to move into a combination movement. It's a single arm chest press with an oblique crunch. So your left hand, it can stay down by your side. You're going to lift your left leg straight up, and then the right leg can either bend and stay on the ground or straighten. The bent leg is going to be a little bit more stable in the lower back. So if you want that lower back stabilization, take the leg bent. And then I take it back. Let's place head and hand and lift head, neck, and shoulders. If you want to break, you can keep your head and hand down. So lift head, neck, and shoulders, and then we're going to lift towards the right foot and lower back down into that single arm chest press. Lift and squeeze and lower. Lift and squeeze and lower. Awesome. For 8, squeezing hand to foot. 7, 6, 5, really feeling this in the oblique. Last 4, I'm going to extend my leg just to show you what it looks like. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Switch sides. You're going to place your weight in your left hand and cactus your left arm. And then again, the left foot can bend for the lower back stabilization, or it can extend. Right foot extends up towards the sky. We're going crunch and reach. Hand can come behind head for support. Awesome. Crunch and reach. For 8, 7, 6, 5. Exhale as you crunch. 3. Squeezing obliques for 2. And 1. Awesome job. Deep breath. Let it go. All right. Next exercise, you're going to extend your right leg long, and then you're going to bring your left leg to 90 degrees. You're going to take your weight behind you, and you're going to reach it behind your head. As you do this, do be sure to keep the lower belly and the lower back pressing down. You don't want to arc up with your extension. So keep pressing down, and then as you exhale, crunch everything in. Awesome. Inhale, this time extend your leg and your arms. And exhale, crunch everything in towards center. Lift as high as you can, crunching lower belly. Awesome. We're going extend and squeeze. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take a rest. Deep breath. Awesome. And then switch sides. You're going to go left leg extending long, and then right leg comes to 90 degrees. You're going to reach the weight back behind you. And then you're going to reach up into the inside of your right foot, crunching as high as you can, squeezing the entire abdominals. You're going to extend arms and leg, press lower back down as you extend, and then crunch everything up and in. Awesome. Beautiful. Lower back presses down the whole time, and the front of the abs really engages as you crunch and lift as high as you can. Beautiful. Lift and squeeze. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. You can drop the weight off to the side. Go ahead and press yourself up to a seated position. Whew. All right. Find an easy cross-legged position. Place your hands on your thighs. Tune in. Notice how you're feeling in your body, even after that short bit of movement. Maybe challenged, a little energized, possibly a little fatigued. Thank yourself for showing up. Thank your body for everything that it put in. It did such a great job. You did such a great job. Look forward to the next session. I'll see you there.